Football Fans Tribe over here with the Interview Nigeria Football Fans. After matches, I'll give you Nigeria Football Fan content back to back. So if you're new, I beg, help us click that subscribe button, like this video, and thank you so much for watching. This result and one result, way on the normal dish, any typical football fan would have expected this, but I mean, the manner of the loss at Old Trafford, and your thoughts on the game.
First of all, I'll start with the formation. So when I saw the lineup, I'm trying to assume because we can only interpret what we are seeing. So when I saw the lineup, my thought was like, okay, probably Ten Hag and his coaching staff have sat down, analyzed our previous game, and they saw that, okay, the issue has always been the midfield, right? And the issue has always been the midfield. Okay, now how do we mitigate this issue? Number one, okay, you are starting Scott, Eriksen, Casemiro, and Bruno. That is 4 midfielders. So which means that the Manchester United midfield have no excuse to be outthrown by the Brighton players, right? That was the idea behind it. Now, as the match progressed, you could see that the same reason why you started those 4 midfield, the problem was not solved. But let me go to the first, I'll come back to this. Now, let me go to the first 10 minutes of the game. We started well. And but I will say this, that we have an issue with players like Rashford in the sense that their decision making is very, very bad. When he's supposed to pass, that is when he wants to dribble. Now, when he's supposed to dribble, that is when he will pass and give a wrong pass. It has always been an issue with Rashford's game. Rashford is a good player, but that thin line margin that defines a game has always been a problem. Yeah, sometimes. So now, I'll tell you the reason why we lost this game. And first of all, I have to say this. I'm happy that Maguire did not play. The reason why I'm happy that Maguire did not play, because I know that Manchester United fans all over the world will always look for a punching bag whenever we have a loss. You understand? So now that Maguire did not play, I can tell you that even right now, they can't say how we lost this game, but I'll tell you how we lost this game. The 3 goals that Man U considered today were the same pattern. I was watching this game. Now, I understood that the problem of Manchester United is not actually the midfield, but it's a problem of players. Players not doing their job off the ball. Brighton, we are so good off the ball. When they don't have the ball, you could see that these guys, we are running 100%. They were chasing every ball. They were sniffing. They were anticipating every ball. And that has been a problem of Manchester United. Now, when you look at why these guys, when you look at players not doing much off the ball, you see that, for instance, now, the first point of defense is usually the attack. Once the attack loses the ball, the attacker will be like, okay, my midfielder will do it for me. Now, once the midfielder loses the ball, the midfielder will be like, okay, my defense will do it for me. Now, once the defense loses the ball, the defender will be like, okay, you see that mentality is very bad. Why don't you say, no, me as an attacker, I won't allow these guys bypass me. So when you have that mentality, you see that players are up and doing. And now it's a bad thing that will have players relying on their individual brilliance. Now, when you rely on your individual brilliance, the team gets disconnected. Football is a team sport. It's not an individual thing. And that was the issue we had with Rashford. He was relying on this individual brilliance. So, I don't know. Well,
to agree with you, Sha, there were so many times, come close more, there were so many times that when you player go just stand, they stroll, Brighton pass, go they go. And then,
exactly. That is what I'm saying. When you look at the wonderful teams like Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City, these guys, you hardly say, I'm a star in this team. You understand? Everybody is working as a unit. You understand me? If you look at their transition from attack to defense, you see that even the attackers are chasing down. And when you look at the transition from defense to attack, you see that everybody is moving. But in Manchester United currently, there's a disconnect.
Can we say that Anthony was missed today then because he's somebody that puts in the defensive work?
Yes, people will be like, hey, what's Anthony doing? But I'm happy that you can see that the work rate, it's missing. That wing was leaking enough, so it was really exposed. So, and I don't know how Ten Hag can rise from this, but if you ask me, players need to look at themselves in the mirror, ask themselves questions, you understand? Fight for your teammates. Don't leave the job for one person. You can see that today, that we had 3 players that were very bad off the ball. Number 1 was Eriksen, number 2 was Rashford, and number 3 was Scott. The first goal that we considered, Scott was supposed to follow Welbeck, follow him that ball, but you can see that he stopped.
When Welbeck got into the box, he stopped.
Yes, you understand? So we have 3 players already that I mentioned that are not good off the ball. And I was surprised that Rashford and Eriksen finished this match. I was surprised. And I have to say that our coach had problem with trusting players. I don't see the reasons why you have young boys like Pelistri and you are playing Bruno at the left. Why don't you play this guy, play Bruno in his normal position and play Pelistri? Yes, trust someone, trust these guys. And I think there's an issue of trust, and I won't blame the coach because he knows what he's saying in the training. He knows. So most times when these guys come up with these decisions, we can't really say where it's coming from, but it's a very bad result. Well, I still remain a Manchester United fan. There's no choice. I can't just start supporting another team. I'm 35 years, so you can know how long I've been. So it's something you have to live with. At the end of the day, it's football. So it's good. This loss is a reality check for the team. And I can tell you, if you look at the fans now, in the UK, the next thing now they'll start blaming the Glazers. But trust me, this is not all about the Glazers. You as a football team, what are you doing on the pitch? The Glazers, their issue is off the football pitch. But what you have right now on the pitch, how much effort are you putting to make sure that you get things right? And on my final note, you see, I will have to sound this thing as a one to Ten Hag. You are in England, you have to be very, very careful how you deal with your players. As much as I agree with his decisions, because right now you can see that this loss that we have, they'll start blaming it back on Sancho not being there. It will always come up with that. You understand me? Now, if you want to take these kind of decisions, make sure that your team is doing well. You can see that people like players like Guardiola, when he's throwing his players under the bus, even when he's saying that, you can see what he said about Pedro, that the reason why he's not playing is because he's not good with his first touch. But today that they won. Nobody will focus on that. So you see, you have to, Ten Hag needs to be very, very careful on that note.
Nice one. Finally now, would you blame Onana for any of the goals, or could he have done better? Maybe that third one, I don't know.
See, Onana is not a world-class goalkeeper. I'm a Manchester United fan. Onana is just an average goalkeeper. So whatever goal he concedes, I'm not surprised. These are the kind of ball that De Gea saved, because this guy, De Gea, is a world-class goalkeeper. So whatever goal Onana conceded this team, it doesn't shock me. I've been following Onana when he was at Inter Milan. Forget this thing that he's good at the back. Listen, we don't have players that are good on the ball, so Onana will not function in this team. If you put Onana in Man City, you will see how good Onana is, because you have players who are good on the ball. But Manchester United right now lack players that are good on the ball. And you'll be surprised to know that I can tell you that the only players that are good on the ball in this team, number 1 is Eriksen, but because of old age, number 2 is Bruno Fernandes.
You cannot match the...
Rashford, as much as Rashford is good, Rashford is not good on the ball when it comes to ball control. But some Manchester United might not agree. But he's very terrible on the ball. His first touch sometimes is usually bad. You get me? So, it's bad.
Finally now, which hope now you get for that Bayern Munich game?
If I would say they should go for a draw.
Lock it up. Anything will come out, we run.
They should go for it.
Thanks for watching. Right here, another one of our videos where you're supposed to like, and all our social media links. I beg, follow us on every platform because we get content for everybody.